Well, I figured I would show a quick video of the filter running and the complete setup of the filter. Just changed the filter floss in my PVC overflow and wet dry. That's the filter that I took out. Used to be white, but as you can see, it's no longer white. It's borderline black. Now, here's my tank, and here and here is the PVC overflow for my wet dry right there. And if I can get back far enough, there's my tank, 55 gallon. This is the intake for the canister. That's the return for the canister. This is the intake for the wet dry, and that's the return for the wet dry. So, first off, the wet dry. Let me get some light, more light than I can. There we go, that should help. Alright, I have an aqua lifter here, and it is teed off on the intake. It draws from this and this. Tees off, goes through the pre-filter right here, comes out of the pre-filter into the aqua lifter, out of the aqua lifter, and I decided to use one of the holes for the standpipe, and so it takes the water from the standpipe, or from the overflow, and puts it down into the standpipe. And then I have my other standpipe, which I have some gauze to cut down on the noise, which, since I put the aqua lifter on, there's been really no noise. And there is a hole in this one, so it's not a siphon. And then here's the 3/4 inch intake and return for the canister filter. The overflow is 1/2 inch, and it goes into a T section here at the bottom, actually in the back, but it tees 1/2 inch, and comes out 3/4 into the trickle tower wet dry. The bottom drawer, I have my heater, then I have squishies here, which are usually half covered in water at all times. I used bottle caps. Someone gave the suggestion of using bottle caps instead of the bio balls, but the bottle caps themselves, it's hard to see. There you go. I've drilled holes in the tops of all the bottle caps to allow flow. And then the very top drawer, which you can't see now because of the condensation, is the filter floss. And then here's my return pump. It's the same pump in the canister. It's a fountain pump, 300 to 500 gallons per hour, and I have it opened up all the way, so it works pretty well. Everything, I mean, it's been great. Now on to the newest addition. Before I do that, the return from the wet dry comes out of the wet dry, goes, it's hard to see, but comes out of the wet dry and goes to the input side of my UV clarifier. It's a 9-watt UV clarifier, and then it comes out to a ball valve and returns to the tank. So that's the complete wet dry. Now as far as my canister, the way I have it set up, see if I can get this light situated here. There we go. Alright, this is the intake here, which I have a ball valve hooked up to, disconnect here, so it's not hard mounted, so it's really easy for maintaining the canister. Here's the return, and again ball valve, and heading back up. These are 3/4 inch inner diameter vinyl tubing, so it's no restriction on the flow at all. This third valve, as was stated in the thread before, is a pressure equalization, and I have it open right now, but if there's a vacuum because the intake is clogged for some reason, then this draws water. It goes all the way around to this side here, comes around and actually goes down into the wet dry, below the water line. So it will draw water from the wet dry if needed. Now if there's excess pressure in the canister, then the water that builds up in here, let's say the return line is kinked or is blocked for some reason, then this will the pressure from the canister into the wet dry, and which will in turn pump it back into the tank. So there's no concern for the sides of this top coming unsnapped, and of course the filter flowing all over the floor. So but it's been running for almost 3 days now, and it's totally dry on top. There's no leaks from the return or the intake or the third valve. So that is the complete setup that I have for filtering my 55. So I have aeration from an air bar in the back there, and of course aeration from my decoration here. This is a creation of my own. I cut up a bunch of decorations and made a cave here, gluing that together, that one of my Bashirs likes to hang out in. Catch bowl for when I get the intake correct on this, for a sand fountain. So but this is my tank. There's one of my Senegal Bashirs, and the others are hiding. So oh, there they are. There's one of them, and another. So, and I have a Delhaize here. Oh, there's one. So he's getting to be a big guy. My Delhaize, who's hiding somewhere, is even bigger. But that is my tank. And my female bristlenose hiding out there. Oh, there's a nice picture. That is my albino bristle nose. Too bright. Yeah. So, that's my tank. Hope you enjoyed. I know I didn't paint the overflows, but I like them the way they are. So, thank you for coming and watching the video and enjoying the tank.